Hello, welcome back to NeuroMD. Smash subscribe to get daily updates. And today we have to discuss neuroanatomy, and the question would be, why do we need to learn neuroanatomy? Well, I've posted 3 videos by now, and I'm guessing that if you guys don't know the basic neuroanatomy, you can't really understand the pathology and what's going on in the brain and how is the disease developing. Alright, so this could be just a review for you if you already know, and it can fill the gaps in your knowledge which is necessary to have a solid foundation in neurology to understand the brain perfectly. And today in this one, I'm going to explain it in very simple words, so you're not going to have any troubles understanding it. Okay, let's get started. All right, here, first one, the lobes, right? Now tell me, how many of you know how many lobes do we have in the brain? I'm guessing you got it right. We have 4 lobes. Can you tell how many what lobes do we have? As we know, there are 4 lobes, right? Now let's move on to how many are they, what are they, why are they? First, this part, this is the brain, as you know. Here you would see frontal lobe. This part would be parietal lobe, occipital, temporal lobe. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 lobes of the brain. Now you might be wondering that what does it mean? Why do we need to know that? What's the function of these parts? Well, don't worry, I got you covered. First, you have to guess which parts, which lobe am I talking about. The lobe that helps us make decisions, move our muscles, speak, control our emotions. What do you think? Which part of brain are we talking here? You guessed it right. Frontal. Frontal lobe is right at the front, hence the name, frontal lobe. So easy, yes? Very easy. Next one, helps us sense touch, understand space and objects, pay attention to our surroundings. Which lobe are we talking about? Right, it's parietal lobe. Again, let's have a review. The red color, which lobe does it represent? You're right, frontal lobe. The blue one is the parietal. Now, in reality, if you go in neurosurgery, in the OR, operate on the actual brain, it's not gonna be as colorful as here. But it's just for your understanding that we have different colors so you can differentiate the lobes. Next one is the one that helps us hear, understand language, remember things, and most importantly, recognize faces. If this part is damaged, you can't recognize faces. So which lobe is it? Yep, this one. We have frontal, parietal, and temporal. Very good. Okay. Next one helps us see, recognize objects, understand what we see. So, if it's damaged, you can't understand what you're seeing. Which part are we talking about? What's this one? Frontal, parietal, temporal, almost there. Yes, occipital lobe. Perfect. So how many lobes again? We have 4 lobes in the brain. Like our heart has 4 chambers. This one's a little bit different. It has lobes and 4 lobes. So you can remember it by remembering that heart has 4 chambers. Oh, so what does brain have? Brain doesn't have chambers. Brain has lobes. How many lobes does it have? It has 4 lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital. These are the 4 lobes you need to remember, and that's all you need to know. It's very simple. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be the ventricles of the brain. Now, you must be thinking, oh, ventricle is very familiar. I've heard this before, right? Where did we hear this word before? You're right, it's in the heart. Of course, we have atriums and we have ventricles, but the problem is heart has only 2 ventricles, and they're more of a muscular cavity responsible for blood filling and pushing the blood out of it. The 2 ventricles of the heart. But when we talk about brain, it's a little bit or a lot different, right? So ventricles of the brain, again, we have 4 ventricles. Heart has only 2, and it has completely different function. Brain has 4 ventricles. Now you must be wondering, yeah, we know brain has 4 ventricles, but do we know their names? Okay, here we go. First of all, we have lateral ventricles. Now you have 2 different views, anterior view and lateral view of the brain. And you can see that in the lateral ventricles, we have 2 ventricles that are known as lateral ventricles. In the picture where we can see the anterior view, we can see 2 ventricles that are lateral. This one and 2. 1, 2. I hope you can see my cursor. And in the previous videos, we were talking a lot about the pathways, tracts, and the ventricles, and gyrus, horns, a lot of horns. So here you can see in the anterior view, it's clear that you have 2 ventricles in the brain, and then there is something called anterior horn, which we will get into later. So 2 lateral ventricles, now 2 more ventricles left. Okay, what are they? Very simple, very easy. The 3rd ventricle. Now where does the 3rd ventricle goes? Where is my pen? Here. So this is lateral ventricle number 1, lateral ventricle number 2, and the 3rd ventricle is right here. This is the ventricle. Ventricles are basically assume that there are caves, and it's basically a fluid-filled cavity. So that's mainly all about ventricles. Now 1, 2, 3, 3 ventricles, 3rd ventricle, and now we're missing one more. Which one is it? The 4th ventricle. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, and here we go. 4 ventricles of the brain. It's that easy. 2 ventricles are lateral ventricles. There's a 3rd ventricle and the 4th ventricle. Very simple. Now, let's move on to the lateral view. In the lateral view, what you can see 1, 2, the 2 lateral ventricles. This one is another view of the 3rd ventricle, and then we will move to our 4th ventricle. Right there, very easy. Alright, let's move on to the next diagram. But before that, I have to clear all drawings. Yep. Okay. So now we know our 4 ventricles. Let's see what are we doing with these ventricles. Again, let's locate them. The lateral ventricle, right here. the third ventricle right here, the fourth ventricle right here. So we got our ventricles in a spot, and then there is something called cerebral aqueduct, which connects the third, this one, and the fourth ventricle together. And that's all you need to know here. Now move on to the next one. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit complicated, but it's not that complicated. Let's point out our lobes. Can you see where is which lobe? The first one, frontal, parietal, occipital. Where is the temporal lobe? This one. And it covers this part, but this is the inside structure. So we located our 4 lobes. Now let's try to reach our ventricles. Do you see any ventricles? Yeah, we can see our 4th ventricle clearly. It's right here. And in this view you can't see much, but what I want to point out here is the sulcus and the gyrus. What are these terms mean in brain? When it comes to brain, when it comes to neuroanatomy, what does these mean? It's very simple. Think about it as folds and grooves. So like your intestines, you have folds looking just like this, but in brain they're like a little bit different. So the folds are just known as the gyrus, and the grooves, the gaps between the folds, these grooves are known as the sulcus. Okay, so that's the primary difference between all these, and they have the names like postcentral gyrus and precentral gyrus, because the brain is divided into, there's a line in the center, and you will imagine this is the center. So this is precentral gyrus and this is postcentral gyrus. We have our lobes over here and here on either side, and that's all about the gyrus and the sulcus. Remember, again, I'm just trying to review these for you in simple words, because you just need to know, you don't need to go in details. Now we have different views and different names, and it mentioned each part has its function. We will get into this a little bit later. Let's move on to our main diagram. The main diagram, where's my pen? Yeah, okay. So we have our lateral ventricle. Where is it? It's right here. And then we have our 4th ventricle. Where is it? It's right here. And the 3rd one, exactly right here. Now this is the 3rd one, this is the 4th one, and something connects this with this 3rd and 4th, which is our duct, and it's in the midbrain, which is not very difficult. Most of you already know if you're in medical school. If you don't, then you should know. It's very basic. And yeah, so this is another diagram to connect all the information you learned so far. Now this part is something we didn't discuss, and we will definitely discuss in the next video in detail, but I'm sure most of you know what is it called. Any guesses? Yeah, it's called the brainstem, and it has different structures like pons, and in the next videos we will do the details, and we will talk about our cerebellum and our all other parts, and we will also discuss the cerebral hemisphere and how to divide the brain in different parts. So this was all about the basics because in the previous 3 videos, if you notice, a lot of pathology is all about mapping the brain perfectly, where you will hear a lot about ventricles, a lot about gyrus and sulcus, and you would be lost that, oh my god, where is it happening and why is it happening? So this is the basic and very simple explanation of the brain, and where you can understand the big picture. Okay, so in the next few videos I will definitely talk about the rest of the details that you need to know to learn more about the pathology, understand the diseases more and how they progress and their treatments. So the next videos are coming soon and they're going to be very helpful. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do smash that button and subscribe to the channel to get the daily updates on the new videos I'm going to post each day, which will cover your license exam, your board exams, your med school will be easier. With these videos, you can build a solid foundation that you need for basically all the board exams and license exam after the graduation, during the medical school, or even for the residency exams as well. So once you have a good foundation, you're gonna ace all your exams and you're going to be a very good doctor. That's why you need to build a solid foundation, and it's very important to know the anatomy along with all the details, the functions, the structures. You should know them, at least be familiar with them. That's why I have different kinds of videos. I have videos explaining stuff, I have videos discussing stuff, I have videos explaining the anatomy in very simple words, and I have also different videos about where you can just play the video in the background and subconsciously make yourself familiar with the concepts, the names, the medical terminology. So you can play the videos in the background and then just listen, or maybe put headphones on during the class while driving or walking. So you'll just hear me talk. But what it's doing is, even if you're not actively listening, it's subconsciously gonna go in your mind, and somehow you will be familiar with the terminologies at least. And in the class, next time your professor mentions something, you would know, oh, I'm familiar with this topic, I've heard about this. So that's all about your subconscious mind. It's very smart, even if you're not actively listening. It just takes your surrounding, your even if you're not actively listening, it's 24/7 alert. You're hearing stuff, you're listening stuff. So better surround yourself with these kind of voices and these kinds of topics, which makes your subconscious mind think, oh, I'm familiar with this topic. Oh, it's not difficult at all. Oh, it's very easy. So that's all you need to get through the med school, and I wish you all the best. So that's all for today. See you next time. Bye bye.